So let's get started. Hey, I'm going to talk to you about this book today. And I am on pages 22 through pages 24. And we're going to talk about the 3 lead generation buckets. This is a continuation of the conversation we were having yesterday. And I'm going to go to the flip chart and I'm going to start drawing pictures. And if I'm moving too fast, just yell stop. If you have a question, yell stop, because I can fly through this pretty quickly. I've done this a couple hundred times. All right. Now, everybody in the room, and there's 35 of us today, so another really good group. Great job, guys. I'm proud of you. Everybody in the room, I'm facing this to the camera so that everybody on Zoom can see it. But I promise I'll move it around so you can see it. And I'll leave this up here when we're finished if you want to take a picture. Okay, you got 3 buckets. This is where business comes from. And bucket number 1 is your database. More specifically, it is repeat and referral business. Bucket number 2 is prospecting. And bucket number 3 is marketing. Now, I'm a brand new real estate agent, or I've been in the business for a number of years, and I've never really worked from a model. I've kind of been working from an entrepreneurial position. In other words, doing what comes natural. And when we do what comes natural, we're going to get success. However, we're going to hit a ceiling of achievement, which without models is going to be lower than it would be if we were to follow a model. So maybe I've been in the business for a couple of years and I've just been working from what comes natural. And I'm succeeding for a lot of reasons, including I've got skill, I've got natural ability, and oh, by the way, it doesn't hurt that the market's doing well. However, I'm going to hit a ceiling. And in order to break through that ceiling, I have to get purposeful. Now, let's go back to this conversation because we're going to have a purposeful conversation. Fair enough? Cool. Now, we work 250 days a year. And what is work? Work is 20 conversations a day, not 19, not 18, not 17. Because if I have 17 conversations, I didn't have the 18th conversation, which could have been $1 million listing that I didn't get because I didn't have the conversation. And when I'm having 20 conversations a day, that means I'm going to have 5,000 conversations in a year. Now, those conversations are coming from my database. In other words, I'm communicating with people in my database. They're prospecting conversations, which means I'm calling for sell by owners. I'm calling expired listings. I'm circle prospecting around a property that just sold or a property that was just listed. I'm door knocking a neighborhood. Those are all prospecting conversations. Now, they can also be marketing, which means I'm mailing the golden letter to my farm. And the golden letter simply says, you can look it up, by the way, guys, it's all over the internet. The golden letter simply says, the market is hot. There are lots of buyers looking for great homes like yours. There's never been a better time to sell than today. And we have buyers that are looking for homes like yours. Who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home? So you're sending this letter out, right? And the idea of the letter is people are going to call you and ask, hey, what do you think my home is worth? Now you're going to get into a conversation around what their home could potentially be worth. You're going to schedule an appointment to meet with them. You're going to collect all of their information so that they become a lead. The difference between a conversation and a lead, the difference between a contact and a lead is a lead means you have their name, their phone number, their email address, and their mailing address, bare minimum. Now you're going to collect more information from them, but that's the basics. Now the focus of these conversations starts with building your database. We start by putting everyone that we know, everybody that knows us, everybody that knows we're a real estate agent in our database as part of our sphere of influence. So you're brand new, you started last week. Start adding everybody you know into your database that's part of your sphere of influence. The other thing that we're focused on is having conversations with people that we don't know. We call them haven't mets. And when we're having a conversation with someone we haven't met yet, our focus, our goal is to add them to our database as a new met. And your standard, every one of these 250 days, your standard is to add at least one new haven't met to your database. So a year from now, you've added 250 people to your database. You started with, I don't know, 50 in your sphere of influence. Maybe it's 20, maybe it's 30, maybe it's 10, maybe you absolutely know one. You moved to Florida yesterday and you don't know anybody. That's fine, because a year from now, you'll have 250 people in that sphere of influence simply by adding one person every day. You guys with me so far? Your other focus when you're having these conversations is you're looking for people who are thinking of selling their home. In other words, I call it for sale by owner. It's one of my 20 conversations. Hey, Clarissa, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty. I noticed you're selling your home by owner. Just curious. If I had an offer on your home, would you want me to bring you the offer?
No. Well, John, do you have an offer?
Cool. So that's a great question. She asked if I have an offer. That's a great question, and I won't know until I see your home. I mean, that's exactly why we should get together. If I did have an offer, you'd want me to bring it to you, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Cool. Now, in order to do that, I need to see your home. It'll only take me 10 or 15 minutes to pop by, and then I could potentially bring you an offer. Does today at 1 work, or would tomorrow at 2 be better for you?
Tomorrow at 2.
Okay, so I'm going to go see Clarissa. Good job, Clarissa. I'm going to go see Clarissa tomorrow at 2 o'clock. It's a standard that I'm going to find one person every day that is thinking of selling their home. Whether it's a week from now, a month from now, or a year from now, doesn't matter, because I'm looking for opportunity, period. I love it when people finish my sentences. Repetition is the mother of learning. I'm looking for opportunity, period, not just opportunity right now. So Millie says on a circle prospecting call, hey, Millie, John Dietz, Keller Williams Realty. Thank you for taking my call. The reason for my call is we just sold a home in your neighborhood, which is great news. Our challenge now is we have buyers that are looking for great homes like yours, and there's nothing on the market. Just curious, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? Now, Millie says me. However, not for another 2 years. Good lead or bad lead? Good lead. Good lead. 100% it's a good lead, because 2 years from now, I'm going to be selling homes. Yes or yes? Yeah. See, most real estate agents would say, lousy lead, goes in the trash, next call. And they're not going to work with Millie 2 years from now. I am. Because my response to Millie saying 2 years from now is, cool. I'd love to come take a look at your home. just in case I have a buyer for your home. And by the way, I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the market. That simply means that I send them interesting information on the real estate market once a month. And I call every 3 or 4 months just to check in. Would it be okay if I added you to that group? Cool. And can I pop by later this week and just take a look at your home and bring you some information on the market? Cool. Does Thursday at 3 work, or would Friday at 4 be better for you?
Thursday.
Okay, so I'm going to go see Millie. Great job, Millie. And she is one of 250 people that are in my pipeline because I met with her. We got face-to-face. Now I have 250 potential listings that are living in my pipeline. You guys follow me?
Yeah.
All right. The next part of this conversation is I have to have a system in order to follow up. And I have to have a mindset. Guys on Zoom can't see that. There we go. I have to have a mindset that I follow up forever because I reject rejection. Because no is not a word that lives in my vocabulary. No simply means not yet. Remember that people will never change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information. So I follow up, not interested, follow up, not interested, follow up. I'm never going to list my home with you. Cool, talk to you next month. Follow up. If I ever do list my home, I've already got an agent. Awesome, talk to you next month. Follow up. If I ever list my home, I want $1 million for it. I know it's only worth 500,000, but I'm not selling for less than $1 million. Cool. Talk to you next month. Follow up, follow up, follow up until we get to this day. And I hear, glad you called. We were just having a conversation about getting the house on the market. And what I've done, because I stay in contact using a system, super important. Because when I've got 250 people in my database, or one new person every day, 2 years from now, I could have 400 people that I'm following up with. That doesn't work on a spreadsheet. You guys hear me? I have to have a system to do this. And when I follow up forever, I'm creating emotional proximity. And emotional proximity simply means that Millie is going to hire the real estate agent who is closest to her when she gets serious about selling her home. And that typically happens about 7 to 10 weeks before they put their home on the market. So no, 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 go away, don't like you, never gonna hire you. Glad you called. Come over and talk to me about what you could do to sell my house. Jim and Judy Poker called them on an expired listing. They were one of these calls. They ended up here and here. And I followed up with them for 3 years and 89 calls. And I heard over and over again, we're never going to hire you. We've already got a real estate agent. You don't need to call. Stop calling. Please stop calling. And then on the 89th conversation, John, can you come talk to us about listing our house?
Wow.
All right, talk to me. What'd you guys hear? Was that fast? Was it too much? Did it make sense?
Persistence.
You guys, do you understand, Juanita, we were talking about this before we started. Do you understand this crazy mess, what the foundation is that I'm showing you to build a successful real estate business? Do you understand this? Does it make sense?
Yes.
All right, talk to me. Give me some ahas. Yes.
It's the plan to know them for the rest of your life. Basically.
Realtor for life.
It's not easy. That's why it looks like that.
Success is simple and it's not easy, right? But you nailed it. This is my plan in order to get into relationship to be your realtor for life. Vicky, talk to me.
Be pleasantly persistent.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Contact people no matter what, and just keep feeding your database and circle around and get back to the people. And remember that you are their hero because you always tell them it, let me know what I can do for you, and just always be that person.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And guys, not to promote my book, because that's not really what I'm doing, although I kind of am. Everything that I talked about is on page 22 through 24 in Rainmaker. And in the second half of the book are all of the scripts, word for word, for every single one of these conversations. It's called a blueprint for success because it's a freaking blueprint for success. Yes, Nelly.
I'm gonna piggyback off what Vicky said, consistency is key, and I feel like when you're making with the expired calls, you know so many times that you just don't follow up. But like a good system that I've been working with is if I feel like, you know, they're potentially gonna be somebody, add that to my sheet and then call them a few months later.
Yeah.
And just keep following up.
Love that. And can I share with you the secret to not getting frustrated with the results?
Yeah.
Right? You ready?
Yeah.
Don't be attached to the results. Don't care about the results. Focus on the activities. The activity is 20 conversations. Meet with somebody every day who's thinking of selling their home. Follow up with them forever. Build relationships. Be completely unattached to the outcome. All right, anybody else?
John, building on that,
Yes, Kim. Hi.
hi. The not being attached to the outcome is, I think, easier said than done, at least for me, a lot of times. And one thing that's really helped me get through that is embracing the concept of enjoying the journey. And as we focus on the activities, and if we can really detach ourselves from the outcome, because the real growth and the real development and the real benefit of doing all of that activity is that we become who we want to be in that process. And so we can attach ourselves to that outcome instead of the actual goal that we have set. That's helped me a lot to detach, if that makes any sense.
100% makes sense, Kim. And it's hard for me too, by the way. It is. And in those times when it's hard, it's simply just a choice. You have to choose to be unattached to the outcome. You know, there were days where, and there was times in my life where I needed, listen to me carefully, guys, where I needed to get that listing and to get that listing sold so that I can pay my bills that month. There were times that I would walk in the morning, and the entire time I was walking, I was praying for opportunity because I was scared. How am I going to pay my bills? Now, do you think I was attached? 100% I was. Being unattached doesn't mean you're not attached. It means act as if you're not unattached. Hard to do. Critically important. Here's another secret for you guys, and then Vicky, I'm coming to you. You will be more productive when you are not attached to the outcome. If you go on a listing appointment needing to get the listing, you're not going to be as effective as you are if you don't need the listing. If you have a listing inventory of 20 homes and you've got 5 properties under contract and you're going on a listing appointment today to get another listing, you are going to be more effective than you will be if you have 0 listings and 0 properties under contract. Now, here's the key. Act as if you have the 20 listings already and the 5 properties under contract. Vicky.
Just piggybacking on all of that, I think it's all about mindset. When you set out to do your lead gen, and it's simple, and I have to remind myself this every single time I knock on a door, make a phone call, contact anyone, I have to have my affirmations right there before me before I do all of this, to really build myself, to remember that I am determined, I am amazing, I am like gonna get where I want to be. But you have to build yourself up before you get on any of those journeys, calls, knocking on doors, because mindset is everything. And how you show up with those people is how they're going to feel. So always remember that. Have your journal by your side. Remember to feed your brain with that before you do anything, because success will happen if you are strong.
Yep. There you go, girl. Proud of you. Thank you. Shirley.
And addressing also not being attached to the outcome, even when it's not a financial attachment.
Yeah.
We know this person should buy because renting costs this, or we know this person should sell because of what they can gain from the sale. What really helped me is I can't want it more than they do. So my job to remain unattached is to provide the information, but I can't want it more than they do.
There you go.
Wow, that's awesome. I love that.
There you are. There it is. Very good stuff. All right, guys, great job today. I am proud of every single one of you. There's at least 40 of us between in the room and on Zoom. That's a daily coaching conversation. That's pretty powerful. I'm proud of you guys. All right, time to get to work. What's work? Work is 20 conversations. It's not 19, it's not 18, it's not 17 conversations, because 17 conversations is close enough. I'm going to stop. And if I do that, I didn't have the 18th conversation, which could have been $1 million listing that I didn't get because I didn't have the conversation. Have care call conversations, not phone call conversations. Lead with gratitude. Bring value to every conversation. Follow the Ford model of communication: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Your job is to get into relationship with everybody in this database. When you build top of mind, when they think of selling their home, they're going to call you. When they think about buying a new home, they're going to call you. When they know someone who's going to buy or sell a home, you're going to get the referral, simply because you built relationships. Find somebody today that is thinking of selling their home. Meet with somebody today that is thinking of selling their home. And then follow up with them forever, because you reject rejection, because no is not a word that lives in your vocabulary. No simply means not yet. Remember that people will never change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information. And when you follow up forever, you're creating emotional proximity. Maria, coming to you. When you create emotional proximity, when Maria follows up with me forever because she rejects rejection, because no is not a word that lives in her vocabulary, eventually I will make a new decision based on new information, and that new decision will be to
Hire me.
There you go. Great job, everybody.
Thank you, John.
My pleasure.
Thank you, John.
Always my pleasure.